Sanjay is a cab driver for Uber, the ride hailing giant. His work involves him regularly crossing the Domlur flyover near Indiranagar in Bangalore. Most of the time, it's a quick ride, and he barely registers the stench that comes from the garbage dump yard below. But during office hours, things are different. On a road choked up with cars, autos, and bikes, all going along at a snail's pace, the smell worsens and it becomes unbearable. So that's when he pulls out his trump card, an entry pass to a nearby tech park that lets him bypass the traffic and the stench. It's a perk Sanjay's gotten from his second job as a corporate transport driver. And Sanjay isn't the only one. In fact, several drivers play both sides. Fixed schedule corporate trips for steady pay, interspersed with on demand gigs for platforms like Uber. And now, Uber wants to play those both sides as well. In January, Uber officially launched its B2B push in India, Employee Transportation Services or ETS across Mumbai, Pune, and Chennai. It also launched business logistics services under Uber Direct. Even though the launch was this year, the plan had been in motion for nearly 3 years. Nicholas Van de Luc, Uber's ETS lead for India, told my colleague, the Ken reporter Debanjali Biswas, that the company first ventured into ETS with a large US multinational bank operating in India because it wasn't happy with existing services. Uber co developed the product with the bank over 18 months before finally rolling it out to other clients. Now, India is Uber's third largest market by ride volumes, right after the US and Brazil, clocking over a billion trips in a year. Globally, Uber has posted $52 billion in revenue in 2025, which is up by 18% year on year. But ETS is still a very different beast from ride hailing. The B2B transport market has its own entrenched players, tech platforms like Move and Sync and Routematic, and fleet specialists like Ecos Mobility and Oryx. All these platforms typically don't mix B2B and B2C for a very good reason. Fixed schedules and on demand rides don't play well together. But Uber thinks differently. It sees ETS as a logical extension of its existing B2C technology. All it needs is tweaks to accommodate multiple passengers, fixed timings, and routes. And with rivals like Rapido and the newly launched Bharat Taxi squeezing its B2C business, Uber's timing could not be better. Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host, Rachel Verghese, and every day of the week, my co-host Nikta Sharma and I will bring you one news story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Friday, the 13th of March. India is a tough market for mobility providers to maintain a majority in, especially given the mounting competition. On 6th February, the government launched Bharat Taxi, promising surge-free rides at 30% below Ola and Uber's prices. Meanwhile, Rapido already claims double Uber's market share across bikes, autos, and cabs, though it still lags behind Uber in the cabs department. To top it all, Rapidos and Namayatri, a community-driven ride-hailing app's zero-commission model has pushed Uber to abandon its 30% commission structure in favor of a flat fee. The subsequent hit to its business, though unrevealed, is bound to be massive. Considering all of this, Uber's ETS push looks pretty well timed. But look, Uber India's ETS lead insists that the company's strategy has nothing to do with the rising B2C competition. He told Debanjali that the intention was never to plug a gap somewhere. Instead, Uber saw an opportunity to be a one-stop mobility solution. Actually, the real motivation was India's own unique complexity. Luke said, and I'm quoting here, that this country is the most challenging sandbox environment in terms of traffic congestion, women's safety, and late night regulations. Basically, if you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. So, the goal then is to eventually scale ETS globally. In India alone, the employee transport market is worth $6 billion today and expected to be more than double that by 2030. The IT sector and GCCs, or Global Capability Centers, employ nearly 6 million people in clusters across the country. Now, the market leader in this organized sector is Move in Sync, which posted a profit of Rs 95 lakh on a revenue of around Rs 550 crore in FY25. Its clients include over 100 Fortune 500 companies like Google, Meta, and BCG. Like Uber, Move Sync runs an asset light model relying on small fleet partners and independent drivers rather than owning its own vehicles. See, owning fleets is both expensive and very hard to scale. Rajesh Lumba, CEO of fleet owner Ecos Mobility, explained that providing B2B vehicles is not a high margin business. Vehicle costs per car, which includes EMIs, insurance, maintenance, can actually run up to Rs 20,000 to 30,000 in a month, which is nearly as much as a driver earns. So, here's where Uber's existing B2C driver network, which is the largest in India, becomes an edge. Look said that Uber will get dedicated B2B vehicles at competitive rates because it's a package deal with the B2C supply. But MoveNsync isn't worried yet. In fact, its CEO, Deepesh Agarwal, sees Uber's entry as a potential blessing. He told the Ken that a global player entering employee transport may actually grow the overall pie. More on this in the next segment. Uber has one card up its sleeve that no B2B only player can match. It can let corporate drivers flip to on demand rides during downtime. The thing is, for specialists like Move and Sync, moving into B2C is too risky. The two models require completely different operational capabilities. Corporate transport demands compliance and punctuality. Gig rides demand speed and flexibility. Agarwal, Move and Sync CEO, told us that timing just one ride wrong can delay the whole schedule. Besides, Move and Sync doesn't need to worry about having enough rides to keep its drivers occupied. Indian multinational firms and IT companies operate large teams who are often dedicated to international clients. These teams need transport around the clock. Apart from the usual 9 to 5 grind, there are employees who start work as late as at 5 pm, while others clock in at 12 am to sync with US times. But at the end of the day, drivers will never say no to some extra income. That's what Uber is banking on by allowing its B2B drivers to switch to B2C during off times. ETS uses high end cars, so drivers working corporate shifts will moonlight on Uber Black, the company's premium tier. Customers benefit from this too. A ride that normally costs you around Rs 1000 could drop to Rs 800 because Uber's B2B side would now be subsidizing the difference. Also, the cost of acquiring B2C customers reduces as well. Ajesh Saklecha, a Chennai based mobility expert, said that a corporate employee using Uber ETS for office commutes is likely to use the app for personal trips as well. In smaller towns where ride hailing is still new, ETS could also be a gateway. The thing is, as an established giant, Uber also brings some serious operational muscle. Its control rooms are large, real time monitoring setups and are installed directly inside client offices. Look said that since the company sits shoulder to shoulder with in house transport teams, it can react very quickly. Move Sync, by contrast, runs centralized command centers. Agarwal admitted that supporting client side rooms 24/7 at scale was too challenging. And while these are small advantages, they're still meaningful, which gives Uber an edge over domestic players. Stay tuned. Investing in exclusive fleets and running control rooms is not cheap, which means Uber's main leverage here is its deep pockets. Saklecha, the mobility expert I mentioned earlier, said that Uber can borrow at minimal interest rates in foreign markets and deploy that same capital in India. Domestic players just don't have that same luxury, not even Move and Sync. In fact, the company posted losses during COVID. It has since recovered. Agarwal said that the company's profit margins hit 3% in FY25 and are expected to reach 5 to 8% in FY26. Still, Uber comes with a built in enterprise sales advantage. Uber already has tie ups with most major international companies through Uber for Business, which lets employees book on demand business travel. In fact, employees at firms like Deloitte and Wipro have been using both MoveNsync for fixed schedules and Uber for on demand corporate travel. But Uber is still learning to perfect its on ground operations. Luke said that the company's biggest learning curve is understanding how to club people together to ensure efficient drop offs without going all over the place. After all, B2B is a high stakes game. Like Agarwal said, a slight delay can throw off the whole schedule. And there's also the unglamorous side to all this, coordinating with admin managers at companies to sort out details like car specs, driver profiles, and competitive rates. Should employees be collected from their doorstep or a common point? Should drivers call clients when late night drop offs are complete? These are small but painstaking requirements that differ from client to client. Also, there's integration across HR and financial platforms to deal with. Then there's also the general dealings that go hand in hand with an informal economy. Transport operators say bribes to local police and RTOs are a regular cost of doing business. In one case, an operator was asked to donate helmets to the local police station. Now, all of this will require Uber to be more hands on in its dealings with on ground fleet partners as well as the local ecosystem they're up against. Look said that the company is going after 100% of the market. If it's realistic or not, they don't know yet. And if Uber succeeds, it might just be able to consolidate a market that's been fragmented since the 1990s.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber only offerings. A full subscription offers daily long form feature stories, newsletters, and a whole bunch of premium podcasts. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted and produced by my colleague Rachel Varghese and edited by Rajiv Sien.